Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well. From wherever you're watching this channel, I'd like to take you to a statement that the EU delivered concerning what is happening in Tanzania. One thing that we need to agree on is that Suluhu Hassan, the president, is headed for a straight win, a win. Ladies and gentlemen, she's going to win with a landslide. But the big question is the European Union ready for this kind of presidency?
So we need...
Now, the members of the European Parliament have condemned Tanzania's 2025 general elections, describing them as fraudulent, as President SAMIA Suluhu appears poised for a straight win. Now, in a joint statement, the lawmakers David McAllister, Munir Saturi, and Marja said the polls had been compromised long before voting began, taking place in an atmosphere of repression, intimidation, and fear. Very crucial to note: repression, intimidation, and fear. Now, these members of parliament argued that the electoral process could not be considered free or fair, emphasizing that the fraud began months before election day. They argued, or they urged the international community to speak out, warning that remaining silent would amount to endorsing a flawed election. This statement also highlighted the arrest of opposition leader TUNDU LISSU, who was detained on treason charges ahead of vote. The lawmakers demanded his immediate and unconstitutional release, noting that no election could be credible when key opposition figures were imprisoned, freedom of expression curtailed, and independent media intimidated. Now, I think what they have touched on is basically what we've been talking about. That SAMIA Suluhu's government, what they did is that they intimidated, they curtailed freedom, and even the media was, threatened. There's something I was trying to imagine, because, normally, let's say for example in Kenya, there is always a session whereby results are relayed. Of course, results are normally declared at the polling station, but they must be relayed. They must be relayed to the to bombers for a final tabulation. They must be relayed. So even in Tanzania's case, the INEC has a duty of performing the relaying of results from the polling stations to the main center, I think, if my facts are correct. So INEC is bound to declare the winner of the presidential election within 72 hours after voting concludes, and voting concluded on 29th. So they have a maximum of 72 hours. It's just akin to what to the Kenyan situation, about 72 hours. So if it is about 72 hours for all this to be done, and internet imekatwa, so how is this relaying going to be done? I mean, how are they going to connect na internet imekatwa? So that's a very concerning thing that I was trying to imagine, that kind of scenario where now the returning officers must, submit the results via a particular mechanism, but to the central organ, the INEC. Now, this is the main reason why the European Parliament has voiced their opposition on these results, even when they have not been pronounced. The results have not been pronounced, but already they have a stand. They are saying that these results, they will not endorse the results. That is, if SAMIA Suluhu is pronounced the winner, they are not going to accept that. You see, they're going to reject it. But let's ask ourselves something here. Does SAMIA Suluhu care? Whether the European Union agree with the result or they don't. We have seen presidents in Africa who take power by force and then wish that one day the European Union will actually accept them. We've seen this happening in Africa. So I'm looking at the case of Samia Suluhu. Labda pia yeye anaona kwamba whether these people endorse me, whether they agree to my presidency, I don't care as long as I'm the president and I'm earning salary and my people call me president. I don't care. Maybe that is what they are thinking about. Because if you look at Africa, there are so many heads of state, some of them who are presidents courtesy of coups. There are people who are presidents because of very uncouth ways that have got them to become president. There are those people who are still hanging on, the likes of Paul Biya. They are still hanging on to presidency. Hawataki kutoka kwa kiti. There are so many people. The case of Uganda. So, do you think this statement from European Parliament, by the members of Parliament there, do you think that is going to affect Samia Suluhu? Mimi naona kwamba mama ameamua liwalo na liwe. There is nothing that is going to deter her from being the president again. So I'm looking at this all message from European Parliament saying that, okay, of course they have delivered a statement. Yes, they had to deliver a statement, but is the Tanzanian authority going to honor it? Most likely what is going to happen is that Suluhu will become a president again by force. Then after becoming a president by force, what is going to happen is that they will try to correct the wrongs, but kama any president. So see, that is what most African heads of state do. They take power by force, hang in there, alafu wanarekebisha wakiwa hapo ndani. So they are already enjoying the fact that they are presidents, ni marais wakati huo. So mtu ni rais na anajida anatengeneza zile shida ambazo ziko anazirekebisha, lakini kama ni rais. It's unlike wewe ni rais but you can do nothing, So I agree with the message from the European Parliament because honestly speaking, intimidations have been seen. The election, according to them, the election was rigged long before the voting day. Rigging had already taken place according to them. They are saying that rigging ilianza kitambo sana, even before day of voting. Many would say that maybe size in the rigging itafanyika. No, rigging, the process was already rigged. Not even the votes, the process had already been rigged. That explains why you find that there are a lot of demonstrations in the streets. So European Parliament, the members of Parliament there are saying that they will reject. They are going to reject the results, whether he is pronounced the winner or not the winner. But going by the look of things, Samia Suluhu is going to win by a landslide when the results are finally concluded. So remember, relaying is a challenge because hakuna internet. Sasa they are relying on information ambayo imeletwa tu. It can be hakuna internet, So ladies and gentlemen, just go below in the comment section and tell us what to think about this latest story. Perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.